Metal is definitely very unique. So you have like a very base color for metal, like this. This is a base color for metal. So it has that slight specular property to it. That's why the area that got hit by the light, it seems way brighter. If you shine a light onto the mirror, you can legit see the light coming at you, like going into your eyes, and it feels like your eyes is being burned. So that's why the specular part of the metal looks very specular, like it's very shiny, very shiny. And the dark side of the metal, there's literally no light shining in and bouncing off of it. That's why its shadows is very dark. I might want to give it an outline. Its highlight is very light and its shadow is very dark. In order to learn metal, you need to become metal, feel the metal, smell the metal. Then enlightenment will strike. That is how enlightenment works. So sun burns your eye, therefore metal. Exactly. Sun burns eye, metal. That's basically metal. If there's backlight to metal, it's gonna be very shiny. Very shiny. Oh yeah, the transition is very sharp. Usually when you draw something like this, there's like half tones in the middle, and like usually half tones is something like this, where it covers the entire area, like that. But for metal, this half tone is very thin. Most of the time, if there's light hitting it, it's gonna be light. If there's shadow hitting it, it's just gonna be shadow. So it's very black and white almost. There's not a lot of halftones. It's just mainly this. And the light that reflects off of this is very shiny. Compared to wood. Alright, let's do wood. As you can see, wood, the highlight is not so bright. The backlight, yeah, so the thing about metal is that whenever it catches light just kind of bounces off, so it kind of like goes straight into your eyes, right? And if it goes straight into your eyes, lights get very intense. This is kind of like a light source that obviously for you to see this color, it has to bounce into your eye. And since this is metal, the light bounce off of it is pretty intense. So even for backlight, it's a very intense light. Not to mention, sometimes very colorful. For example, this one here, I just straight up use blue because it's pretty colorful for metal. Whereas for wood, you can see that the highlight is very mild, like it's not that intense, and usually there is like a transition in the middle. So for example, I'm just gonna hit the arc and find a middle color. I'm gonna do this and gonna create our half tones. So our half tones is something like this. You can see that it's way smoother and it feels more like wood. This is just shading, by the way. This is just based purely off of shading and coloring. We don't go into details just yet because that's a different thing. And then, for example, the backlight, you can go for something like this, and this looks like wood. This one, the shading just suggests that this is like an entire smooth surface, and if we hit it, it's gonna like, I don't know, like bounce off or something. So yeah, that's like the difference in shading. Transparent material like slime or glass, Yeah, sure. So transparent material, it's slightly different. The light, all the color that we see from transparent material is basically the light that we see from the Fresnel effect. So light, when it goes through a transparent object, right, it just goes straight through. It doesn't have a surface property that it can bounce off and go into our eye. And so the light that we're seeing really is, it just goes through here like this. I don't know how exactly it works, but it basically just goes through there and bends in a certain way by the glass that makes it goes into our eye, and only around these areas can we see it. If it just goes here, it doesn't have light bounce through, it just goes straight through and doesn't go into our eye. If it goes here, it's like an indirect light. It goes here and then it just bounces off of this glass piece and then it goes into your eye. That's how we see it. So for example, like this entire part we can't see is dark, and the corner is gonna be bright. So we're gonna use this. Yes, like an eclipse, exactly. So we're gonna color the outer part like this first, and then how we're gonna shade is we're gonna find a middle value between these, and then we're gonna shade this first, just to get the middle value. And okay, how do I explain this? Basically something with science. The lower area here is gonna be a bit more lighter than, yay science, yay. The area here is gonna be a bit more lighter compared to the area here. Also, the effects of this glow is very thin at the top, and then you can have like a specular shade here, and then this part here we also just give it like nice blend. So something like this, where you make this top part like that, and then you just slowly just blend them in. But that's kind of like the principle behind shading a transparent-ish kind of object. You can make it more intense, but I just do something like this. I think also at the bottom here is gonna be dark. Usually it's gonna be dark because if it's on a table, it's gonna take the color from the table and it's gonna be dark here. And then maybe we just blend in the shade a little bit here. Just blend it in like this. So yeah, this is kind of like a glass-ish kind of shade that I would do. I could also make this part a bit thicker like that, so it just connects to the light area. Oh, I need to pull up some reference so you can kind of see what I mean. All right, so this is somebody's glass, and you can see that the outer area, it has like this Fresnel effect. It's like a white-ish color on the outside, and it's transparent on the inside. The part that is closer to the highlight, it's gonna be dark. If it touches the surface, it's gonna take up the shadow from the surface, and that's why the lower area here is also dark. You can always just add in highlight points from different parts, and you can even connect the Fresnel effect here with the highlight as well. So I hope that answers your question. This is kind of transparent, you know, like glass-ish shade. So I can put that there. So if you guys want reference, you can just take a look at this thing. Yeah. If you have other questions, just let me know in chat, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. Wait, did Kaseki just said balls in chat? You just said balls. A picture that I kept around as reference. Oh, yo, that's nice. That's nice. I think we can have like a channel in the Discord chat to kind of have reference or tutorials in there. Wait, where were we? The balls. So how often do you guys play with balls? Completely normal tutorial stream. Let's just put in the box. Just put in the box. Yeah. Yeah. Somehow. You think it fits? I think it fits. It might fit. It might fit, guys. It might fit. These balls might fit. Yeah, this is a completely normal tutorial. Completely normal.